Hey everybody, hope you can see me because I can't see me. Hope you're having a great day, great week as we move on with the Ten Commandments. Moving to lesson number 2 on the second commandment. Before we get started, of course, dad joke. What does a clock do when it's hungry? Goes back for seconds. Let me say that a different way, you might get it. It goes back 4 seconds. Think about it, laugh about it, write down in your notebook, lesson 2, second commandment, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Tough commandment to follow. Possibly the most violated and broken commandment. Let's dig into it. What's the principle? What is the principle? What is the moral principle behind this commandment? And that is that God is holy and therefore his name is holy. And to appreciate the name God, G-O-D, to appreciate Lord, to appreciate Father, Son, Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, the Blessed Virgin Mary, to appreciate all these, I think we can take a lesson from the Jewish faith which we come from. All right. Among all the words of Revelation, this is from the Catechism, there is one which is unique, the revealed name of God. God confides his name to those who believe in him. He reveals himself to them in his personal mystery. The gift of a name belongs to the order of trust and intimacy. The Lord's name is holy. For this reason, man must not abuse it. He must keep it in mind in silent, loving adoration. He will not introduce it to his own speech except to bless, praise, and glorify the name of God. A name is valuable, a name is important. I'm like most teachers and adults. I expect you to call me Mr. Peo. And in the South, y'all like to say, sir, yes, sir, no, sir. That is showing me that you have respect. You know my name, but you also know how to use my name in context. That establishes our relationship. Who knows? Some of you come back to Turlings one day, you're coaching, you're teaching, and all of a sudden we're coworkers. That would be weird. Let's not think about this too much. But there might be a day in that scenario where I say, just call me John. If I say call me John, what I'm saying is my name is going to establish a new relationship with you of equality, of seeing eye to eye. I'm no longer your superior. You call me John. Well, you don't violate that. When I give you that name, that's a sign of a deeper, more personal relationship. Well, that's what this catechism paragraph is saying. When God, capital G-O-D, as holy as that title is, when he comes down and he says, I am here, I am the Son, I am Jesus Christ, here is my name, I am one with you. He's showing you that he loves you and he's entrusting you a personal relationship. So you can't use the name Jesus Christ like a curse word because it's a sign of love. Hopefully that analogy makes sense to you. The Jewish people held this in highest of standards. They revered the name of God, which is Yahweh, so much that they would not write it out or say it out loud. Only the high priest once a year was able to say Yahweh, which means I am who am. That's the name God told uh, Moses in the burning bush. So, and not only that, when they had to write it down in the scriptures, they abbreviated it and they put it in all caps. It was so holy. They were so privileged that God spoke to Moses, God there through Moses to the people, and that they had a name for him, that they treasured it. Okay? Do you treasure the holy name of God like that? That's the second commandment. Take this name and treat it well. Do we as a society? Heck no. We're horrible at this. But you can't change society. I can't change society. You can change what you do. All right, so let's go into a common offenses against the second commandment. The first one's the most obvious one, abusing God's holy name. The second commandment forbids the abuse of God's name. every improper use of the names of God, Jesus Christ, also the Virgin Mary, and all the saints. So anytime you use something holy improperly, like I already referenced, Jesus Christ. When people say that out of frustration and anger, and it's not a real prayer, but it's really a frustration, it's not holy. It's not. You're not showing your love for God by using His name in that context. It's tough to begin and end your day with prayer. I love you, Jesus Christ, and then go the rest of the day saying, Jesus Christ, this Jesus Christ. Like, there's a disconnect there. There's a disconnect, and we have to turn back to the second commandment. It doesn't matter how many people are cussing around you. You can't do that. That's an abuse of the name. This also, like I mentioned, goes for the Virgin Mary and all the saints. Okay, number two offense against the second commandment is making a false promise in the name of God. So I swear to God, I did this, but if you say that and you're lying, as you kind of get this impression from the picture with the guy, his fingers crossed behind his back, he's got a little two-faced. That's a false promise. That's a serious offense. The second commandment forbids false oaths, false promises. Taking an oath is to take God as a witness to what one affirms. It is to invoke the divine truthfulness as a pledge of one's own truthfulness. An oath engages the Lord's name. You shall fear the Lord your God, and you shall serve him. So you cannot tie your own truth and falsity. You cannot bind God to that. You're using God and his name for your own purposes, and especially if it's false. That's a problem. Okay, so most of you get that, Y'all are like, yeah, you can't lie and use God's name. That's kind of obvious. But the question is, can you swear to God? See, I've been teaching long enough. I know what you're thinking. Can you swear to God and it be true? I swear to God, I watched Mr. Payo's video on the second commandment. It's true. You're watching it right now. Can you say that to somebody? The Catholic Church doesn't say absolutely no. We do go to the stand, we put our hand on the Bible, say, I swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. So guys swear before God, not binding God, but saying before God in my honor as his child, I promise to tell the truth. There's room for that, of course. However, this catechism paragraph makes an important point. In the Sermon on the Mount, big speech of Jesus in Matthew 5 and 6, Jesus explained the second commandment. You've heard it said to men of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn. But I say to you, do not swear at all. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more, it comes from the evil one. Jesus teaches that every oath involves a reference to God and that God's presence and his truth must be honored in all speech. Discretion, I put in bold, know this, discretion is calling upon God. Discretion in calling upon God is allied with a respectful awareness of his presence. So the church is saying if you're going to swear before God and to God or with God's name, for the most part, no, don't do it. Jesus says, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. You shouldn't let your own word and your own integrity speak for itself. Um, but definitely to use discretion, um, to be ultra cautious in doing so. Number three is blasphemy, which is actually a crime in many countries, I found out in researching. Blasphemy consists in uttering against God, inwardly or outwardly, words of hatred, reproach, defiance, speaking ill of God. This is almost like borderline verbal mockery. I taught you last lesson about sacrilege. It's when you take a holy object and you misuse it, misrepresent it. Well, blasphemy is using the holy words of God in a deceitful, in a conceited way. You know, cursing at God or mocking people's religion. It's blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Um, God, religion, all are meant to be treated respectfully and fairly. Okay, so that's blasphemy. When you hear blasphemy, some of you are probably thinking of when Jesus was on trial before the Sanhedrin, uh, after he was arrested. That Good Friday morning slash Holy Thursday night. Well, the high priest tore his garment and said, "This is blasphemy. Send him to Pilate." What he's saying is, you, lowly person, are claiming to be one with God. That is just an insult to God. You are just mocking our God. I can't take this. Get out of here. That's blasphemy. Of course, we know Jesus was right, but this is an article we would read. It's fascinating science. Okay, we're going to transition from using holy names to just a few thoughts I have for you about, well, are we allowed to curse? We're allowed to say, the F bomb and all the other four-letter words. If we were in class, we'd read this article, which actually has a scientific approach to this question. And the truth is that using negative words makes you more negative. It makes you think more negative thoughts. And it can actually feed anxiety and depression. Uh, that being said, real short, real quick, are we allowed to curse? Is it really that bad to curse? I'm not going to give you hard and fast rules. Yeah, you can say these words, but not these words. You can say these words here. I'm just going to give you some moral principles, which is what this course is about. Most of y'all are confirmed. Most of y'all are at least going to get confirmed probably this summer. We are anointed to preach the good news, which is meant to build up the church. Okay, so you're going to get confirmed, you're going to get anointed, you're going to get a special grace to proclaim the good news. You need to do so with proper language. You need to carry yourself in a dignified manner, in a positive manner, because you can't proclaim the good news with your life, your actions, if you've got dirty words, if you have negative, angry words. Okay? And so from Ephesians 4, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, may it impart grace to the hearers. All right, so think about that as you're cursing. Am I being a positive influence to the people around me? It's just a moral principle to consider. Number two, this is my own experience. People who curse a lot are the people who are the saddest in life. People who are the most angry, the people who are most hurt. And it comes out in angry language. Vulgar language often comes from an angry, hurt soul. We are all hurt at times, but we do not need to feed our hurt or anger by expressing negative words. Okay? And you're only going to soak in deeper into the hurt, the frustration that you're experiencing. Listen, Mr. Peo fails. Like, I curse here and there. And it's always when I'm angry, upset, or unhappy in life. Okay? And that's my red flag to say, hey, you got to address something on the inside. Okay? Number three, our speech is meant to be edifying. We should be the light of the world. This is very similar to number one. Number one was more biblical. You meant to go spread the good news. This is simply carry yourself with honor and respect, as Ephesians 5 say. Immorality and any impurity or greed must not even be mentioned. Don't even talk about the nasty stuff of life, as is fitting among the holy ones. No obscenity or silly or suggestive talk, which is out of place, but instead positivity, thanksgiving is what we're called to do. Okay? That's your second commandment. Honor the name of God and carry yourself in correct manner. Make sure with this lesson you go to Socrative. You complete the two simple questions there, and that'll complete your lesson. Hopefully, you took good notes. And I'm about to record the lesson for the third commandment. From Burbridge, Louisiana, on behalf of Turner's Catholic High School, this is Mr. John Paoletti. God bless.